Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Logical Heroes. I'm Mitch, aka Robakis.
I'm Trevor.
And today we got a review for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which we just came back from about 2 hours ago. We wanted to sit on it a little bit before we made our reviews and comments about everything, kind of let everything soak in and actually make our decision on what we liked and what we disliked. And I think we're kind of on the same page. The other thing we do is we don't talk about it until we get on here.
Yeah.
So it's more of a discussion / review, but we give our opinions on things that we liked, the things that we didn't like. So before we get started, guys, if you could drop a like and a subscribe down below, it'd be greatly appreciated. We are trying to bring you guys content almost every day of the week, and let's get right into this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring this in by non-spoiler at the beginning, and then we'll do spoilers at the end. Spoilers in this movie, I think, are kind of like a collective. It's only one big topic.
That's true. Yeah.
Really, in essence. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the beginning. We'll do our likes and dislikes, and then we'll give our review, and then we'll bring in the stuff that if you guys don't want to stay for, because there are going to be spoilers in this review. Right. So Trevor, let's start us off.
So the things I liked, I loved the magic. Okay, I loved the horror aspect of it. That's one thing I think parts of this movie did well. When it was like trying to be creepy, it pulled it off. Like it was really well done. I felt scared. Um, I I don't know what else to say. Those were like my main likes about it. Character wise, like I don't know. Like I'm not even the biggest Doctor Strange if we're talking about all the way Avengers. Like Doctor Strange's personality isn't like the most like likable, but I did like his power set and all that. And I don't know, Mitchell, you take it before I
I'll
start
go
talking
into. I'll
negative.
break it down a little bit. I'll make it kind of easier for kind of explain to where I am on this. So for the likes, 100% Wanda, they friggin' killed it.
Yeah,
I think
cool.
they did an amazing job. I'll get into why in a second. I think Doctor Strange was a really good piece of this movie. He's not the main. Like, he is the main, but he shares the main part.
Yeah,
right.
Really, it doesn't feel so much like a Doctor Strange.
Yeah, but the thing is it actually somehow worked, which is quite interesting, because originally I was like, please don't make Wanda the whole thing. I loved Wanda to death in this movie. I think they did an amazing job with her, but I'm like, do not try and push out Strange where we kind of lose him a little bit in the story. But I think they had a good balance in between Wanda, because she is such a huge pivotal part of this movie. And the thing is with Strange is he kind of has his thing going on the side, Wanda has her thing going on the side, and it goes in and out the whole movie. And I think they did it really well. That's one thing that I enjoyed, was those two characters. I liked Wanda and her conflict within the movie. I think that was great with the struggle, and like she just loses herself, right? That's the thing. She loses herself and she becomes the Scarlet Witch, and that's what I think a lot of us were waiting for, was that final snap moment where it's like she's gone overboard.
She's the Scarlet Witch, yeah.
There's no coming back from this. So that's what I loved about those two. Now, Sam Raimi, I think, is perfect. Absolutely
the
perfect.
Things that he did, yeah.
Okay. So if you remember in a scene of Age of Ultron, they don't really kind of dive into it afterwards, but there's a scene of Age of Ultron where I can't remember who she's messing with, but when she reverses backwards, she kind of has that like weird stutter. Like her body kind of glitches back,
She's
and the door
with
shut.
Tony's head.
Yes, and she like goes back, and then the door shut. And it's like, oh, that was fucking creepy, right? So that to me was amplified in this movie.
For sure.
They did so well with doing that, and I think Sam Raimi, like especially like, let's try and not go into spoilers. There's a part where they kind of implement that when she's crawling out of something. The scene in the let's just call it, for now we'll call it like a dream state, where she comes out of something. Like, so Sam Raimi knocks it out of the park. There's a ton of
evil witch aspect. He really got.
She kills it, right? Because he's Evil Dead, one of my favorite classic horror movies. Kind of funny, but not at the same time. You can see a lot of little elements of the Evil Dead, in my opinion. It reminded me a lot of stuff about that. And after this, we'll get into spoilers even more about that. I also think the magic element. What did you think about that?
I liked it.
Yeah.
I just feel like they could have showed more. They show a lot of the same, like, shield and same techniques. There's a few new things, but I just wish there was. That's the one thing. One of my problems with it was like that they had to show Wanda and show her abilities.
Yeah.
That it kind of pushed aside Doctor Strange is like full on scale and skill.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was cool in it, but I just wish they showed more.
Yeah.
I don't know.
See, like through his stories, yeah, like he's been here since what, the 70s, the 60s, Doctor Strange. You can have fun with it. And there is a scene in the movie, let's just call it the music scene, right?
Oh, okay. That was pretty cool.
Right? So it's
I
like,
actually like that.
and the one thing I liked about it is they weren't afraid to kind of go into something like that, right? They're kind of open to making more of a, not joking, but more dramatic, right? It's more dramatic, more funny, more loose.
Comic-y.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed the magic aspects of this. I also enjoyed, as a lot of you will see in the trailer, so I'm not considering it a spoiler, the, let's call them, variants of Doctor Strange. Right? I enjoyed the other variants that we had throughout the movie of Doctor Strange. I thought they were very different and it worked a lot. And there's a Doctor Strange variant that we knew going into the movie. There was another one that I didn't think it was going a certain way and I still ended up liking it. But those are a lot of the things that we liked. Let's get into the dislikes of this movie. Do you want me to start it off or do you want to go? Because
you can start, because I'll get lost in my shit.
I know. So like for me, the one thing that I noticed a lot, and this is just a theory, it's an opinion with a theory why it happened. In the movie, you can see a lot of changes in the tones or the mood of the movie. Yeah. Now, I don't really understand it. So, like, for example, I'm watching it, I'm thinking, oh, this is Sam Raimi, right? This is him that made this scene. And then all of a sudden we transition into kind of like a feeling that you'd get from an MCU TV show, which I kind of call them like somewhat of like a downgrade of a MCU movie, right? And I was kind of getting confused because we would go into this kind of horror aspect, very tense, very scary, and then all of a sudden it'd be just very light. And I think with the light, with the MCU is funny. They do a lot of humor in the lighting, the lightness of their tones, right? So, and it didn't hit when it went away from Sam's stuff. You know what I mean?
It made it feel cheap.
Yeah,
like,
it was
like, oh, this is a good, and then it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, creepy again. Like, oh, that was kind of cheesy. Like it just never had the same tone all the way through.
Yeah.
And that's where, like, it's not like this is the only movie that's had those problems. Like lately, it's been a lot of, like, just even in the superhero world where it's like, oh, we need to see this director's cut because like all the company keeps like getting into it.
Yeah.
Where you see, I hate to compare it. I love you, Marvel, but this is a good comparison.
Oh boy.
The Batman, Matt Reeves had like full control, and you really felt that and saw that. That's what I'm gonna say.
I felt so. This is the theory on top of my opinion. So my theory on top of the opinion is that you had two conflicting sides. I think that, and if you guys remember as well, I think it was like 2 years ago this was announced that Doctor Strange was going to have like more of a horror vibe to it. And I think they picked Sam, and that's a perfect person to do something like this. But I feel like that there was conflicting versions of this movie. When you watch it, I felt that there was one guy, Sam, that wanted a more darker vibe for the movie because it really, really showed, and it really amplified characters like Wanda. It blew it out of the water when those scenes were on. And then all of a sudden you'd cut to like another 10, 15 minutes of like away from that feel. And it would turn into almost a like MCU vibe, but it wasn't hitting. Does that make sense? That's what it almost felt like. It was very different, very meh. But when I felt like Sam was in charge of the scene, which, and this is all theory, by the way, it worked so well.
Like and when Wanda's going off.
Even with Doctor Strange,
like
though. Even with Doctor Strange, it felt good. Like, it felt very sorcerer, witch, when you had that dark feel in it. I really felt like I was in the movie, and then being taken out of that feeling and being put into something else. I know that's what we usually expect, but doing so kind of takes away the impact of what the darkness of this movie has.
I get what you're saying. I agree. I was going to say that in a way, like I feel harsh saying this, but I feel like the title could be changed to Multiverse of Blue Balls because that's how I felt. Like, think about it. Think about the whole multiverse aspect. We
Yes.
didn't really see that much. It felt
No.
more of a Wanda versus Doctor Strange. Like, we need to stop her and stop all this bad shit she's willing
Yeah.
to do to get her kids. But the multiverse just happened to be involved in it. Like, the Illuminati part, that's probably what made me most frustrated about this movie, where it's in the trailer to be like this big, huge hype thing.
Don't get too
We're
much
seeing
into
all
it.
Sorry, but like it's just I don't know. I feel like they wasted a lot of potential stories.
And which we
And
will get into after in the spoiler piece, where we will give our full opinion on the Illuminati in a certain aspect in this movie. But yeah, I totally agree with you on this.
the way they made it seem like that was a big part of it.
Yes.
That's where I'm getting
Yes.
frustrated with.
Okay, so that actually completely takes one of my sections up. I think you said exactly how I feel about it. The one thing that doesn't even have to do with the movie, I just wanted to throw this out because I got so frustrated. I even made a video about a leak, right? And I'm like, this is getting out of control. So the thing is, Marvel has to learn how to have a stopping point of showing things. I'm telling you, there are so many parts, and let's not even go into the leaks because that's not Marvel Studios' fault. It's I know what's coming in a big scene. Like in the beginning of the movie, nothing blew me away because I knew what was coming. 100%.
Even that full fight scene at the start,
Yes.
they released that full clip.
It made me not
Like, there's so much.
It takes away that, like, oh my god, this is kind of, because it was a great scene. I still enjoyed it, but it's like, I know what's coming, right? Like, that's the thing, is like they gave too much away before this movie came out, and a lot. Like, and the funny part is, you have Thor that hasn't given anything, and then you have this where I knew like at least 1/10 of the movie before it came out. Right, and the last thing I'll get into that kind of closes this all together with my dislikes about this movie, the time. I felt that this movie was moving so fast and it never stayed on a single topic. It always just kept moving. So as soon as this scene was done, doesn't matter anymore. On to the next, on to the next, on to the next. I don't know, because the thing is, 2 hours doesn't seem right to me.
It felt like that, but it also felt like they're like, okay, this is the movie, we got to cut it in half.
Exactly.
And then they made it miniature. That's why I don't know.
So it was very weird. It felt like I was like, okay, this is happening. It was like, oh my god, can we just kind of sit on a moment here? Because it just felt. And the thing that makes me like think about this stuff is, for one, retakes. Right? They went back and started filming other stuff. Okay, the tone different. The shifts of the tone of this movie. It makes me feel like there was things that somehow I think maybe Sam went too far, like you were talking about after the movie. Maybe they didn't want stuff that was over the top, right? Like that's where I'm going with this. But it just
Which is weird because they showed over the top stuff.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like there was some stuff I was like, whoa, I did not expect that at all, right? But like it was fast, but it also is like jumping hurdles. Like you're going into different topics, and I know with Doctor Strange, obviously you're jumping into different realities, different in the multiverse especially, you're going everywhere. It's gonna be chaotic the whole fucking time. But the thing is while doing that, the first Doctor Strange movie was able to kind of blend it where it's kind of a nice flow through the whole entire movie. This felt more jagged than a flow.
They just wanted to get us in and out.
That's what it kind of felt like. So the tempo of the movie kind of threw me off a little bit. But other than that, I think it was a decent movie. Do you know what we're going to do right now? We're going to give our ratings here and now before we get into spoilers, because there are going to be people that haven't seen this movie. Trevor, I'm going to throw you under the bus right now. Give what you think about this movie.
This might be harsh, and this is not a sex joke, but I don't know how to like give a proper number. So I'm gonna say 6.9, and it's not a sex joke. Okay?
When
That's what I'm gonna say.
when I was
Out of 10.
yeah, when I was leaving today, I was like 7. I was thinking 7.5. I'm like, no, I can't give it a 7.5. It is worth the watch. I'm not saying it's not worth it to go and see. It is definitely worth it to go and see. I definitely enjoyed myself. The only problem with me in this movie was that it was a roller coaster, and in the sense of a roller coaster that like there's some points where I just did not enjoy it. And the more I sat, because like what we do is we take a couple hours before we do a review like this, and we sit and think about what we actually thought. We go through the whole movie inside of our head, and we actually give our honest opinions. To me, I'm with you on that. 6.97. That's where I'm at. Yeah. Definitely worth the watch. It's just, I wouldn't say it's like up there with No Way Home. It's not even close in my opinion.
No. I've heard people compare that this is like their version of No Way Home, like that big of hype.
Yeah,
I don't think it is. I think the trailers showed it like it was.
Yeah.
But this movie overall, it was like, it was fun. It was cool to watch. But I also think it's also gonna be forgettable.
Yes.
But that's my opinion.
All right. So if you're still here, I'm giving you your last warning. This is the spoilers in this movie.
Spoilers.
And I don't want to ruin it for you, because if you don't know anything, for the love of God, I hope you didn't click on that one video that I made about a couple days ago where there was a leak and everything. But now we are going to get into the spoilers of the review, and we're going to give our honest opinions on this as well. So before we start, 3, 2, 1, now we're in spoiler territory. Okay. So obviously everyone that's still here is going to know the characters that were introduced.
Yeah.
So I personally loved that they brought these characters in. I didn't really care for Miss Marvel. I didn't really, that variant didn't, like, it's like, okay.
Oh, you mean Captain Marvel?
Captain Marvel, sorry.
It's literally just I'm pretty sure that's, you know, the girl from Wanda and Vision, the other girl, black girl,
the Photon
actress. That's her mother. But that's
really,
like, I'm pretty sure, because I'm pretty sure she's the one that played her in the Captain Marvel movie in the flashback.
Oh,
so
okay.
That's if she became Captain Marvel.
So we know the characters: Black Bolt, Captain Carter, Captain Marvel. Jesus Christ, if I keep doing that. And Mr. Fantastic and Professor X. So we have those, and we have Mordo. Obviously,
the big three though: Professor X, Black Bolt, and Reed Richards. Those are the huge, crazy ones.
Yes. And this is where, so we made our dislikes of the video. I, for the love of God, wish they would have done so much more with those characters.
Yes, so much
more. To me, it felt like you brought these characters in. I was excited, especially for Professor X and Mr. Fantastic. I was so excited to see them, because for one, if you saw the video that we did before about the leak, I knew Mr. Fantastic was going to be in it. We all knew that Professor X was going to be in it. But Captain Carter, they also teased a little bit as well, which I don't understand what the point of showing her was.
Yeah, the Marvel themselves released it and showed her, and I'm like, oh, cool. Now I know she's in the Illuminati.
Would you show that? I don't understand. Like, when I saw these people, so like, for example, let's say like Wolverine all of a sudden fucking comes out of the wall. Okay, for me, I would lose my mind, and that's where Mr. Fantastic and Professor X are, right? That's the level of height that these guys bring. But giving these people away, Mr. Fantastic was not Marvel's fault, but knowing that these characters are now in it diminished them coming in. When they came into the movie, I didn't have that gut feeling like, holy shit. Like, for example, Daredevil, when he showed up in No Way Home, I didn't know. There was rumors, like little like whispers about him being in it, and I like almost jumped out of my seat that he was there. This was more of a, oh, that's awesome, because I knew. So
it takes so much away.
So like for me, it was just, you brought the characters in. I had that feeling, like I was like, oh, this is awesome. Like they're in this movie. Why are they in it for 10 minutes?
Yep. Yep. You know what comparison I had? When I was driving back home, I was thinking, if you guys watched Moon Knight, the recent show, Marvel show, where all the superior, the smart, powerful people group, the gods, were told, hey, there's a different bad person. This is who you need to worry about. This is what's going to happen. Please listen to me. They say, no, can't choose the bad one. And then they get rid of
Yeah.
them. And then 5 minutes later, they all get fucked over from their dumb decision. That's what the Illuminati did. They're this big, powerful group. Hey, we control the multiverse. We watch over. And then you got Doctor Strange full on saying, no, Wanda is the one that you guys need to worry about. She's so powerful and she's on her way. And they're like, no, no, it's you, it's you. Then Wanda comes and
Yeah.
they don't even treat her like she's like
A
a
threat.
risk, a
Yeah.
threat. Yeah, it's like, are you guys kidding me? And then the way it plays out. Now you can say your part, but
See, for me, it was the kill. Like for one, the coolest kill out of all of it, like just like it was like it felt like Darth Maul stabbing Qui-Gon Jinn when she
in half.
throws the shield and it cuts her in half. I'm like, oh my god. Okay,
That was
that's
so cool.
okay. The one thing that killed the mood for me is when she throws a statue on top of Captain Marvel and she dies.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is that
Their
actually
logic's gonna be that she started like sucking up her energy and then it weakened her and then that flattened her.
to
But okay, besides that kill, all the other kills were really cool. It's the fact that they just introduced them as these like powerful like variants and they're huge characters, like some of the
huge?
most powerful, smartest characters in
Mhm.
Marvel universe. And then bam, they get murdered like that. We don't even really get to see a fraction of their abilities or
Nope.
powers. Not at all.
You see Mr.
So
Fantastic somewhat kind of glue
barely. It
himself.
was literally just
Yeah.
the costume.
Yeah.
That's the problem with it is that this movie, and they even used it in the trailer, where it's like the Illuminati is going to be this big thing, and there's this like background story that's going on, but they were literally in and out in 10 minutes, and then none of the shit that they talked about
Yep.
mattered. It's like they're dead. It's over with. Now we're just trying to stop Wanda from freaking killing more people.
And that's, to me, it was a grab. It was a
Yeah.
BS grab by Marvel. I did not.
Yeah.
When they killed off Black Bolt, that was when I was like the first reaction I had was like, whoa.
It was cool, but like,
And then
fuck.
I sat there, I'm like, wait. And then all of a sudden Mr. Fantastic goes. And then the fight scene starts. And then all of a sudden Captain Carter,
Mm-hmm.
right, goes out. And then all of a sudden Captain Marvel dies. And I'm like, is this it? And then they give Professor X like what, 5 more minutes? And then they
Yeah.
kill him off. And I'm like, see, the thing is you're going to run into this problem where they're going to say that it was to build how badass Wanda is, right? That's what it is. This shows how powerful Wanda is, and that's why she was able to take him out so easily.
Mm-hmm.
I call BS a little bit on that, because to me, it's like, if you're bringing in characters as big as them, okay? The reason why you bring in characters as big as them, because they're so loved. And they know that these loved characters that have been around for 40 years are going to attract so many people,
Mm-hmm.
right? Don't even think about any other character than Professor X. I'd go and see the movie just for Professor X, okay? Yeah. And to kill him off and like maybe have him in for 15, 20 minutes.
Most powerful mutant.
And it's
pretty
like,
much.
I understand you're trying to show how powerful Wanda is. We already got that. We already know how powerful Wanda is. That's where I kind of lose the argument when I say, oh, it's because Wanda's so powerful. They had to show how powerful she really is. I don't believe that anymore. I believe it was more of a thing of to grab people's attention. Like Professor X is in this movie. Captain Carter's in this movie. Like we have all these things. The leak came out for Mr. Fantastic. Black Bolt, you kind of saw in the shadows. And it was more of a sense of...
And those were the big, like, this, hey, you guys aren't
yeah.
gonna suspect it. And then if you already showed us that, and that was your main point, and then you're not even fleshing out those characters. It was just literally like, look, and bam, gone. It's just like, what are you doing to us?
Yeah.
Like, what makes you think that we're gonna love that?
And to
You know?
conclude it, it's just like, now is like, are these characters, because we know Fantastic Four is coming.
Yeah.
right? We all know Fantastic Four has been on the watch list for the MCU. It's been announced. Does that mean John Krasinski is going to be Mr. Fantastic still?
I don't know,
I don't
man.
know. Like, I don't know what
I'm
this
worried
is.
because they didn't have proper acting roles. They literally had like
No.
one-liners where they just had to stand there and use their like faces. And yeah, he looks like Reed Richards.
Yep.
And yes, it's Professor X, but they didn't do anything.
Nope.
It was literally just
It was a
look at
grab.
these characters, come watch the movie.
Hmm.
It was like trying to do what Spider-Man was doing, but
Missed it.
Spider-Man succeeded.
Yeah,
You
they
know?
missed the mark so hard on this one.
They just missed the emotion, the characters, even the new character. They just called her America the whole movie, which I thought was weird because I just think of Captain America. Like
Yes.
it's just weird to hear America, American Chavez.
America
I don't know.
Chavez. Yeah.
Yeah, her powers are cool, but the way they introduced her and tried to like I don't know flesh her out wasn't well done, and the way her and Doctor Strange
I
just
could care
became
less
buddy
about her.
buddy at the end. Yeah, that's why I
Yeah.
say it's forgettable. Even him and his love, freaking what is it, Christine? They have no chemistry or like we haven't seen enough of them to care about every time you see him sad and look at her like oh like I just didn't care. All I cared about was the magic, the cool characters, but they just never really went past the cool characterness.
Yeah.
They just used the look and who they are, but they didn't use them to full potential.
Yep. Lastly, though, what I want to talk
Yeah.
about is Klee. Klee. Can't remember her name.
Who?
I've never actually heard anyone talk about this character. So
Is it the post credit?
when
I had no idea who she was.
Yeah, so Doctor Strange, I got into Doctor Strange, I think about 2 years before the first movie came out when they said they're introducing. I'm like, I don't really know much about him. I'm gonna read through it, and I didn't even know who she was when she showed up in the movie. I'm like, I don't know who that is. But when I went back and saw it as Klee or Clay, I don't know, Clea, whatever. I've never actually heard someone say it in a video before, so I've never actually heard someone announce her name. So I don't actually know how to properly pronounce this. This is a character. She's a sorceress. There's some stories where she actually marries Doctor Strange and stuff like that. To me, it's okay. It's not a character I want to see. Like, it's not on my list. And the thing is, because I went from the Strange Tales, right? And she's from 64, I want to say. I think she was her first, she was first appeared in 1964. Not in the Strange Tales. I think she just appeared in 1964. I'm not 100% sure. I'll check it later. But it was like you have like Doctor Strange. There are so many good characters. I know that everyone's still hyping on the Mephisto train. I get that. I don't care about Mephisto anymore. I've kind of moved on after WandaVision. The one character I want to see, and this was a piss off to me, is Bruce Campbell was in this movie. Okay, so Bruce Campbell, if some of you guys don't know who Bruce Campbell is, he's from Evil Dead, which is a huge Sam Raimi piece of his life. And I'm so glad they gave him a nod as the hot dog stand guy, I guess we'll call him,
yeah.
right? And that's all they gave him. But I was like, I would have loved to see him as something, because he's crazy. He's crazy. Bruce Campbell is crazy. That's his thing. If you go watch Evil Dead 2, especially when it's just unhinged, he would have been such a good character for Nightmare. I was waiting for him to come up and be Nightmare. I don't know why they didn't give me a reason why he should have been. There's
You would love that.
oh my god, there's so many characters we can start bringing into Doctor Strange, and this little snippet at the end or the after credit, it was a letdown. I don't care about this character.
Most people who don't know who it is, who I don't know who it is, they're gonna think like, is that the girl with the pink purple sword in that X-Men movie?
Yeah, you
'Cause
said
that's
that.
who I thought.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, they're bringing in an X-Men character,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, I find out she's I don't know. I just think the movie overall wasn't the best Marvel movie. I still liked a lot of it, but
I feel like this movie had a lot of pieces where they missed. I think that's what the biggest part of this whole review is that there's so much potential in this movie, and they did hit a lot of marks, but they also missed by a long shot on a lot of them too. And the misses that they had were big.
They're big, and it's just disappointing. It just puts a bad taste in your mouth. Like, you
Yes.
try and love it as much as you can, but you're just like, "Ah, they could have done something better with that."
Yes. I overall still watchable. I enjoyed
Yeah.
myself. Are there pieces I didn't like? 100%. Are there pieces I loved? 100%. But the thing is, on top of everything, you got to be honest with yourself. Sit back and actually think about what you watched. And you, like, for me, I came down as it was a good movie, was nothing amazing.
Mhm.
I think it could have been a lot better. Was it on the level of No Way Home? Absolutely not. And I think if we're going into this, the thing is, we're going into a multiverse of madness, sure, of like just fucking craziness. Like, this is going to be a thing that's going to be prevalent in the whole phase 4, 5, 6. I'm guessing. I don't think we're even. I think we're just starting the multiverse.
Oh, I hope it's done.
No, I think this is the start. I think this is how everything comes in. And I think
It's just losing its factor, I feel
no,
like.
100%. And it's going to be the easiest way to bring in the X-Men, the Fantastic Four. Let's all bring everyone in. How do we bring them in? Let's bring them in by a portal open and they came through.
One of the best movies, just not even superhero movies this year, is about multiverse. Like,
Yeah.
multiverse has been such a theme these last few years.
Yep.
But so you gave this movie around
7.
6.9, 7.
Yeah.
That's what I say, 6.9. Doctor Strange movies, which one you like more? This one or
First.
the first one? Yeah.
By
For
a
me,
lot.
it's not even a question.
And it's sad because Wanda is fucking great in
Yes,
this movie.
the horror parts are sick.
Oh.
Her when she's being Scarlet Witch is amazing.
She is awesome in this movie. I loved her every time she was on the screen. I think this was her best movie yet. Easily her best movie that she's done for Wanda / Scarlet Witch. She was great. But I think what happened is some things deflated the movie, which then deflated the whole aspect of everything. And that's where I think we're coming from.
Do we focus on Wanda? Do we focus on Illuminati?
Yeah, exactly.
Do we focus on Doctor Strange? Multiverse? Like, there was
You
so
gotta
much
put it all
shit.
together.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys enjoyed this review today of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I think we're both on the same page for what we thought about this movie. We gave it some time to make sure that we understood and how we knew we felt fully about this movie. But like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you could drop a like and a subscribe down below, it'd be greatly appreciated.
Let us know your opinions.
Yes, down in the comments. That'd be actually great. Let us know in the comments how you guys felt about the movie. You guys could have different opinions. You could agree. Doesn't matter. We want to hear what you all have to say.
Yeah,
So,
no judgment.
Oh, 100%. Right? We're probably half wrong. So,
Yeah.
so until next time.
See ya.
See you later.